name is Dozie Igweile. I'm the founder of QuadLoop, a clean tech company that leverages electronic waste to build portable solar lanterns and solar home systems locally. So the idea is to see how we could manufacture electronic product locally, whereby we don't have to import generally all the materials or components that are required to build this product. So we found out that in Africa and in Nigeria and Africa at large, we have so much deposit of electronic waste, which is something that we find as a key resource for us. So the idea is around harvesting certain waste materials that we use to build our products. So currently we have a product called Ìdùnnú, which is a solar lantern that allows the user to light up their space and provide them with mobile charging. So that's our flagship product, and that's a bit of what we've done and achieved so far.
Me, are you talking to me? No, you.
So the concept started out as an R&D, having it in mind to build products from locally. We found out that importing wasn't going to work for us because of issues relating to forex, as well as issues of logistics. So trying to bring in materials from China and the other parts of the country, the world, to put them together. And we noticed that manufacturing in Nigeria is something that is quite tacky, like it's not really very trending. And I mean, it's very hard, especially when it comes to building hardware, physical hardware products. So the concept started out from the zeal to build products, but trying to see how we could cut down on our raw materials. This is why we started to look inward. What do we have on ground? So we now found out that we had components that we could get locally from waste, which are things like lithium-ion batteries, things like wires, LEDs, switches, and screws. So that's how we started looking at how to use these electronic waste materials, recycle them, reuse them to build our products. So that's how the concept started out.
Who am I? Do I really?
Yes, I wouldn't say we have enough material, and I wouldn't say we are targeting everyone, because we are building from waste, which is a form of circularity. We tend to partner with formal e-waste collectors. Yeah. So formal e-waste collectors are people that actually collect e-waste from corporates. So they collect in bulk laptops, monitors, and other devices, other discarded electronic devices, because these big corporates can't just throw out their gadgets to the streets, and they cannot work with the informal guys. So the idea is for us to we partner with formal e-waste collectors that supplies us the raw materials which we use to build. And currently in Nigeria, we just have just two of them. We have the informal sector, but the formal guys are the people we work directly with. So we have just two companies that are into formal electronic waste recycling, and we are partnered with both of them currently.
Really? Do I really care?
Yeah, so in Nigeria, right, I think we are actually the first company that actually leverages electronic waste to build something sustainable out of it. Right, so in places like Ghana, we have people that are into the waste to art, whereby they use the same electronic waste material to build artifacts. Like maybe like your wall arts, like your table arts and stuff like that. So, but for us in Nigeria, I would say QuadLoop is the first company that started pioneering the use of electronic waste material to build energy products. Yeah, so the market is a bit tricky, I would put it that way, because we are looking at a market that is being flooded with many China products. We have so much China products around there, and these products are products that are made from virgin materials, and these products are imported to the country not just in hundreds but in thousands. 60-foot container, 40-foot container, right? And they are manufactured in China in mass. So one of the problems we are having is to see how we could actually penetrate the market, because price factor is very key in a market like Nigeria. So most times we get people say, why do I pay this? Why do I have to pay this amount for this instead of when I can get this? But people don't really see the big picture of the design concept around our product, because our product is not just designed to be used for 1 year and thrown into the landfill. It's designed to last, right? Our product is designed with circularity at heart. What do I mean? If you buy a portable lantern from us, you can use it for as much as 5 years and more, because it's made from durable products, durable materials actually, and the product is designed to enable circularity. So I would say the market is kind of challenging right now, but we are making sales, but not as we ought to. But we are looking out for a better 23. Yeah, so achieving the vision number one is actually having to have a product that works, that people can actually put their money down for. So that one is key for us, because initially when we started, the design we had was looking a little bit not very okay. It wasn't meeting up with standard. But one of the greatest achievements was the fact that most exhibitions that we attended in 2022, last year, we had people say, hey, is this made in Nigeria? And that really got me very happy, because I remember when we started out early 2018, 2019, the design we have then wasn't looking very unique. You could tell from afar that this product is local, right? But now we already have a good aesthetics that allow people to feel like, is this product actually local? So that's actually a good one for us, you know. And again, we're looking at how we could scale in terms of numbers and see how we could penetrate other markets as well.
But wait a minute.
So, challenges are, of course, you know, funding, because before we could start to manufacture in mass, which will help us cut down our cost of production as well as cost of sale. We need to acquire some materials. We need to acquire some sort of machineries, you know, and see how we could employ more people. So that way we could know that, yes, we are not cutting down the cost of the product. So that way funding is going to help us scale up our numbers, because economics of scale is really key in terms of physical products. The more raw materials you buy in bulk, the cheaper it becomes. So yeah, funding is one challenge. Number two, getting people that would really want to work isn't much of a problem, but at the same time it's a problem, because we have to train these guys on how to really design products, how to really go about using soldering irons and other portable instruments, you know. So yes, funding is number one, getting skilled hands is number two, and number three is actually having to get a factory space set up, because currently we are working with a shared space in Ibejuleki, but we are looking forward to have our own space that allows us to, you know, expand our production.
Shouldn't I care?
So in terms of government policies, right, most of the policies lies around the guys that are into the e-waste itself, right? Because we are more like off-takers of the waste materials, and we are reusing them to build valuable products. So most of the policies are not hitting us directly, because these guys already have like there's what we call the Basel Convention. You know, it doesn't allow people to import certain waste materials in inter-country importation and exportation, right? These are policies and these are documents that the former e-waste company has in place. So it doesn't really come to us. But one of the policies that we would like the government to set aside is to see how we could allow us to import materials in a more affordable way, right? In terms of logistics and clearance, you know. So, but the direct impact of government policies is mainly on the e-waste guys, because they already have a setup of how to collect, manage, and execute electronic waste.
Oh, with all these errands, do this, do that.
We have a team of 4. We are a team of 4. You know, we have 3 male and a female co-founder, and we have a staff strength of 5. So we have 2 guys that just came in from the FUTA in Akure, Federal University of Technology, Akure. So they just joined us late last year. We have some guys that we actually employed. That's 2 guys and 1 lady we actually employed from the region where our warehouse is. So in total, we have a staff strength of 8 persons, because even the actual team members are actually working. Like myself, I go to the warehouse and I make sure I do some of the building myself too. So in the next few years, number one of the growth potential is the fact that we want to expand the same model across other African countries, right? Because we found out that not just Nigeria has this waste issue, not just Nigeria has it's not only Nigeria that has this idea of electronic waste, right? So it's cut across other African countries. You still have these old monitors, old laptops, and stuff like that that we could use. So the goal for us is to see how we could penetrate other markets like in Nairobi, Tanzania, Ghana, and probably maybe Botswana. See how we could work with the former e-waste collectors over there and see how we could use the raw materials to build products that are peculiar to the kind of problems that they are facing over there, right? So that's one of the growth plan. Another growth plan is to see how we could expand our human resource and manpower, because we are not building using machines. Like, we are not using an automated system. That's what I mean by no. We use machines though, but we don't have an automated fleet, right? So we really depend or rely on human resource. We need to have more people that we could train on how to use basic tools like soldering iron, like a drilling machine, like those basic tools and basic know-how on how to couple things nicely, that in a way whereby it would look as if it was a machine that actually did it. So that's one of the areas we are looking at, expanding our human resource as well. Because once we start having to produce larger numbers, we need more hands because we are not using an automated process.
Every day at home and outside, I hold a duty to self to care.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's profitable now because we just have a very slim margin. The difference between our cost of production and cost of sale is not very that. The margin isn't that much. But we on the other side, we run services for other companies. We run services, whereby we help people to reuse their batteries in terms of second life application. So we generate funds from that aspect that we used to pay. That way we pay our staffs and allow them to at least have something tangible doing every time and at all times. But one of the things we are looking at to do is to see how we could, like I said, expand, bring in some machineries that would actually help us to cut down our cost of service, because there are some certain things that we take outside that will allow that will pay for, right? So because we don't have that machine in our custody, we have to give it out for people to help us use their machines, and that way it is not sustainable. So we are looking at how to get in our own in-house machine. That way it's going to help us to scale up at large. These are machines that are kind of sophisticated machines. Let's just say, take for example, 3D printer machine. Even if we want to produce a 3D printer machine in Nigeria, it might not be as top-notch as the ones that are actually existing out there, right? So we don't want to go through the hurdles of trying to produce the machine that we use. The idea is just around building products from waste, not trying to build machines that we use, So we have to use machines that are actually out there that works. So allow us to have a very seamless process. Well, I've been doing bootstrapping for a while and I've been growing organically, but I will tell you that it's not been easy because I have other expenses to pay. I needed to pay for space, need to pay staffs, because I do telecom, as I'm a telecom engineer on the side. But yes, I need investors. I'm looking for investors, investors that are ready to stay on the journey, not investors that would, just keep threatening me every day, So yeah. So but if we see impact investors and we see investors that are willing to scale alongside, that's very welcome. Okay, so for me, I've been fixing mobile phone a year after mobile phone was introduced to Nigeria. I remember back then in early 2000s, I used to do this basic fixtures like earpiece, mouthpiece. people just come to me then. I had this chalkboard that I wrote to repair your phones here, and people started coming, and I was making money as a teenager. I remember opening my first my first bank account back then at Standard Trust Bank, STB, Ojolegba branch to be precise. And then the accountant was like, "How old are you? Are you up to 18 years?" Because I had about 10 to 20,000 naira in cash to open an account. So because I made money from fixing mobile phones for people, basic fault like, people had issues like I call you, you can't hear me, he's hearing me, those basic faults that we usually have back then. So I started fixing phones, and that exposed me to electronics at large. So that way I had the flair to understand how electronics work. I like to tear down appliances and stuff like that, radios and all those things. Then over a time after NYSC, I joined the telco. I was a telecom field engineer as a trainee. So I did a project in 2015 with IHS. So that was where I got an exposure on how renewable energy work, because then we're installing 3 kilowatts, 6 kilowatt, 9 kilowatts hybrid system on the MTN site. So that gave me a very clear understanding on how renewable energy works. So for me, one of the people I really do admire, would I say, because of their resilience and their hard work, is the founder of Innocent Motors, because I see him as someone that he ventured into a space that is quite novel in this part of the world, and he stayed there. That's why each time I see his vehicle around, I feel like, yeah, I mean, you stood in there and you made a difference. Although even if his vehicles cannot compete with international standard yet, but yeah, I do see him I do admire him as as a mentor here. What I would say is that, number one, people need to survive, and you can't force them to do what they don't want to. And because of the fact that a lot of people were really caught unawares, most people were not really, they didn't really have a roadmap. Because before you could even say you want to start building stuff or you want to start doing something that is exceptional, it doesn't just happen overnight. So a lot of people don't have that time to sit down. They don't have that time to spend 3-4 years doing R&D, trying some things out that don't really pay. So that patience is not there in a nutshell. So a lot of people just want to, the now syndrome is what is causing a lot of people to actually go out there. But it's not a bad idea. Whatever works for anybody is okay. So for me, I think the best advice is to understand whatever your value proposition is. What are you bringing in? Is this something that is already existing? Fine. If it is, it's okay. Do you want to do something that everyone is doing? That's fine as well. My advice is like, whatever it is that you want to do, understand the value that you're bringing into the table, because your value makes you stand out, right? So understand your value proposition and keep at it, like stay at it and keep developing yourself in terms of, I mean, I'm not a fan of reading too many books, but I read many articles and I do a lot of research work. So keep researching, keep understanding the trends, keep foreseeing the trends. So that way you can best position yourself. Yeah, so it all depends what your organization is targeting to talk about, number one, because you might have it in mind to talk about maybe software only, or maybe talk about entrepreneurship at large, right? Agro, fintech, and everything. So, but for me, I think for your organization, you guys should look out for sectors that are thriving. It mustn't necessarily be fintech, but look out for unique sectors. You mustn't really touch all sectors, right? Just look out for like 2 or 3 unique sectors that are not really very known in Nigeria. Like things like battery technology, because the world is shifting from fossil fuel to clean, and the world is shifting from linear economy to secular. So things like that are things that people are not really aware of. People don't get to hear it often. If you talk about fintech, if you talk about things like Kuda and all that, it's very, I mean, it's known. If you talk about agro, but if you look at emerging sectors and emerging markets, so talking about things around that area will really help to change the mindset and the narrative of Nigerian entrepreneurs.
It's my life.
Yeah. So my parting word is, number one, create value. Because for us at QuadLoop, right, our word is more like leveraging ways, creating value. Creating value makes you stand out. Creating value brings money to your pocket. So whatever it is you're doing, make sure you are creating value. So that would be my parting word.
Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein,
And Thomas Edison that shaped today.
Under leadership of Gandhi, from my mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela,
And Martin Luther King, who had a dream.
the bravery of Fumila Kuti, Bob Marley.
Can we fella show you come on where to live?
I'm going to Lana, Yola, who died for Nigeria.
It's life that things that be the give or take.
It is my prerogative to fulfill.
And attitude, gratitude, integrity, kindness, service to
Humanity. Oh, it's my life.
It's my life. Today I'm marked and cowed by my joblessness with heaven, education.